Bob, does that mean, therefore, that standard def is dead? That good old-fashioned standard definition transmission and kit no longer figures in the equation?
I don't think it means it's dead, no, because we tend to forget developing markets, cable infrastructures. Take India, for example. Enormous cable market in India. Whether that will ever be fully HD remains to be seen. So I don't think it's dead. But I think you'll see the switch be upside down. Whereas it used to be, here's an SD camera and you can throw the switch to make it HD. What will happen now is you'll say, well, it's all HD, and if you have to make it SD, well, here's the switch to do it. So it will stay. But it will gradually disappear over time, but it will take a long time. It will take a long time.
But, I mean, what's the difference in price now in terms of camera equipment, for example?
It's dropping radically because Moore's law.
Yeah.
Everything gets into
the volume. The volume is now in
volume
high def.
production's there. Circuitry allows you to get higher bandwidths on the board. You know, it's not really a technology problem anymore. The more you get processing power, I may have said once before, you'll end up with a HD television station and a chip that big, but a fan 5 feet across to keep it cool. So it isn't really, I don't think, a technology issue. It's merely a switching issue.
Ian, Harmonic, I don't know what revision you are with both MPEG-2 and MPEG-4 kit, but are you still putting in MPEG-2 compression equipment?
Very much so. I mean, I think to back up the point that Bob was saying, I mean, everyone concentrates on the latest and the greatest, and 1080p, you know, occupies a lot of press coverage. But I think if you're getting pragmatic about the resolutions and actually matching the end distribution resolution to what you're actually using in the production chain, I think a lot of people are going to say, well, can I actually justify, you know, HD production all the way through the chain? I think one of the significant shifts is digital turnaround, where you've got to actually look at the balance of the channels that are actually being produced, digitally turned around, and then it's at what stage in the workflow they actually exist as SD. I think, you know, the industries often cannibalise prospects by writing off previous technologies way too early, and SD, you know, is one of those technologies. Undoubtedly, there are benefits of HD, and I think the subtle change in emphasis where cameras essentially are HD with the capability of turning to SD, and similarly for servers and other production equipment. But I think SD's got a lot of mileage in it yet.
Well, that frightens me a little. If it is so entrenched, then will those viewers ever get to see a high def output?
Sorry to jump in, but I think it's important to understand that if you're watching a well-produced program that was originally produced in HD, and you're looking at it on an SD platform, which had all the bits compressed out of it, you can see the difference.
Yes.
There is definitely a production improvement in HD content by producing in HD and transmitting in SD, as long as the end-to-end chain allows that. And you can, the textbook definition of that would be on sport or on any parts of the major broadcasters, brown drama type things, where they've produced it in HD. You can see, because the contrast ratios, the lighting is set.
Yes.
The set design's better.
Yeah.
The care is
new
taken.
lenses on the camera, maybe.
Prime lenses.
Yeah.
So you get an intangible effect. And I think that's one of the things that will, because I agree with the point earlier about you're never going to phase out the end chain overnight, but you've got to start commissioning in HD because it produces an enormous archive effect if you need to capture it. So I'm sorry to have jumped in.
I think that's where last year I think Ericsson surprised quite a few people by launching a new SD encoder, MPEG-2 SD encoder, and while everyone's talking about HD and MPEG-4 and everything else, and one of the primary reasons there is because with over 1 billion set-top box and integrated TV devices, SD isn't going away anytime soon. But from an operator standpoint, the desire to launch HD services is there, and the ideal of being able to squeeze down your SD MPEG-2 channels in your current existing transmission space and put those new high definition channels in without any change in transmission OPEX is a considerable benefit from a business model perspective, I'm sure, from an operator standpoint.
Yeah.